Welcome back to our long form series talking about our project here in the heart of River Oaks, 11 Tealway. I'm here with Trey with Brooks Construction Group. My name is Spencer Huck with Huck Development. And we're here to talk about the framing process and some of the details in our framing and how we're going above and beyond for the consumer to have a structurally sound house. We're here standing under the house at 11 Tealway. You can really see the scale of how high we are up here. In our last prior videos, we talked about the steel, the concrete, and all of the piers that we have. We really want to touch now on the trusses, and you can see every truss is labeled, making sure that specifically each truss follows the design that we intended. And then you can really see the scale of all of this. Trey, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, down in the belly of the beast. So everything is intentional. Everything that was done on this home was thought through. I'll point out, like what we're talking about with the trusses, all of the balcony trusses are actually engineered with a proper slope. So as they're installed, they actually maintain the slope so we can put our decking on there. That way you don't have drainage or waterproofing issues in the future. There's no concern of standing water. A more commonplace method that you'll see is framers will either put trusses down and put some shims under the decking, which then can sag and then result in holding water. We're over here just trying to think of how can we prevent future problems for this buyer, in which we quite literally engineered the trusses to have a slope on a balcony. It's an engineering feat that we're proud of.
Trey, you want to talk about the wind strapping that we have here?
Yeah, so as we were talking about, the idea of wind strapping is to be able to connect your structure all the way down to your concrete, all the way down to the piers that we put so much effort and so much expense into anchoring the structure. So we start with the bottom, we have hold downs that anchor with anchor bolts. Then as we continue up, and we have our treated columns. We actually went ahead and put a wind strap all the way around them as well, just to be sure that under that compression load that nothing tries to open or move. As you follow this up, you'll see we have straps that connect your post to your subfloor and to your joist, that then go all the way up to your roof structure that are connected to your rafters with hurricane clips up there, just ensuring that your roof all the way down to our foundation is all connected together.
Awesome. I'm standing out here in my favorite part of the house. This is the outdoor terrace, which is one of 5 of our outdoor amenities here at 11 Tealway. You can see the perfect backdrop of the natural vegetation behind me, creating the tree-like feeling that we keep talking about. In this frame right here is one of our 16-foot sliders. We have 2 of them, and the whole house, again, just kind of angles around this, the primary bedroom, the breakfast, and this terrace is huge. It's 50 by 15. You get all of this outdoor space. You have partial covered, partial not covered. We have an outdoor kitchen, and then everything centers out to this view, and you can look down where there's a future pool being planned. We also have a lower deck below it. And you know, from a construction standpoint, we're gonna be having glass railing in the back. Trey, any other features that we should talk about on that side of things?
Yeah, it's just the natural light. I would take it a step further and say natural light without losing energy efficiency. All of our window package here, it's all thermally broken aluminum. That means that there's a break from the exterior to the interior, so that way you don't get that heat transfer from the outside to the inside. All of our glass is double pane glass filled. These are going to be giant sliders that should move like a breeze. We got other just large windows everywhere that's just going to pump this house with natural light while still not losing any energy.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, so as we were talking on, we're really excited about the structural integrity on this house, the structural performance, just the different areas that we're trying to go, what I would say is above and beyond a standard home that you'd see. For example, we spoke earlier on about the fact that we have 24-inch trusses, all of which are by Trussworks. Every single truss, which we'll show later on, is numbered, it's labeled, it has an exact location. It's web construction, the way it's built is specific for that location as well. So it just gives an idea of the forethought of the intent going into our construction. Beyond that, we'll talk through some of the beams, the size of the beams, and we'll just talk through the details that aren't missed that give you as a consumer a better home. One of my favorite details that actually just came up this week is we've got a post here that we'll show you a little more in detail. It's spec'd out per the structural engineer, but as we were looking at it, our team started analyzing and recognizing how heavy of a load it was and went ahead and took that extra step above and beyond what even the structural engineer called out, to add some additional gusset plates to ensure that there's not going to be movement or future issues in your home.
And why should the consumer care about all of this stuff? You know, obviously people care about the lipstick of the house, what I say, the finishes, but how important is, you know, doing the double truss or quadruple truss or something that you just spoke out on the column? Why should the consumer care about that?
Yeah, exactly. So I think it boils down to the fact that we're building a home not for tomorrow and not to sell for tomorrow, but we're building a home for 10, 20, 40 years down the road. It's a home that I'd be happy if my grandkids were able to come and move into. It's something that is structurally sound so far beyond what's commonplace in what I would call the quote unquote spec market. Where though we are building a speculative home, we're building a custom home quality that's just not found in that marketplace. It's a void that we really want to come in and fill.
And that's what you hear, you know, my background, especially on the realtor and consulting side for other developers before getting involved in development. Number one complaint I see kind of in whatever price point, whether you're building a $1.5 million house or a $10 million house, is just how cheap builders will be on the things behind the walls, even the materials inside. And that's really, I think, the difference on our project here with VCG is just how above and beyond Trey and his team go for this house, and all of these little details. I mean, we look at them and sometimes, like I said in the last video, we're like, why did we put so much structural integrity in this house? But again, we're talking about a house that we hope to be here for 100+ years. You know, you're in the most unique lot in River Oaks. You're just 20 feet above everything. It's like a tree house. You know, we're so excited about this house and so proud of the product. I can't wait till you see the next phases along where we get the brick going.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna have all of the insulation, all the stuff that VCG does on the insulation side is truly going above and beyond. Any other details, I guess, that the buyer should know about, from the trusses to the framing or the roofing? Any other details that you want to share?
So on the framing side, we've pretty well completed all of our framing. We're actually moving into the sheathing now. And prior to sheathing, we do a step that's called wind strapping. And that's where you're essentially trying to tie the structure down. The intent of wind strapping is to prevent against wind load or uplift. Compression strength is very strong for wood, but like any kind of castle, you can pull it apart easy. So we place strapping in very well thought out locations to ensure that your entire structure is anchored all the way down to your slab. And on this house, it's much like everything else is so far overdone. We spent quite some time going back even. So we walked through with it's kind of funny, we walked through with the structural inspector, and he looks at the house for like 2 minutes. He goes, "Yep, that'll pass." I said, "No, let's walk around together." And he's looking at it, and he actually had some comments about the wind strapping. He's like, "Well, that one's not on the plan." I was like, "Well, yes, sir, but we saw that and we felt that could be a weak point. So we're gonna take that extra step rather than doing minimum," which
people typically do a couple days and they're in and out, and you look at just, and we'll show you on the B-roll. I mean, you just look at the amount of strapping that's on this house, and again, it's above and beyond.
Yeah, so
it's insane.
It's fun. And so as we were saying, after the strapping side, then we move into the next step, which is your sheathing side. That's where we start to dry in our structure, and that's where the building science side starts to come in. That's where I start getting probably a little too excited. That's, as you'll probably see me holding, it's where we're utilizing a Zip R product, which is a step above your standard Zip product. The joy of it is it actually gives you a vapor and moisture protection. Regular Zip doesn't give you vapor, it just gives you moisture. So adding this insulating factor on here really helps to improve your indoor air quality and improve your environment. One of my favorite things that we make sure our guys do, because what the Zip R, it has a 1/2 inch of foam and then a 1/2 inch of a treated wood product. When all the corners come together, we actually require that our guys cut the foam out to be sure that we have a solid backing with no exposed foam. So that way, if we're nailing, you have a good area to bite and you don't worry about any kind of wind or water penetration. That will then get taped around, and just like with anything with Zip, we'll make sure to roll it. And that's just another step, a small detail of how we're trying to go above and beyond to be sure that we're doing things to the best possible way.
For sure. And typically, in this price point, are people doing that extra layer, or is it kind of 50-50?
So I've seen other builders that will do this extra step, but I'd say it's 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
If I was guessing, it's not a common thing to see people do this extra step.
Mhm.
What's more commonplace is they will just butt it together, and then you'll have that exposed
That-
foam
mhm.
that is just an area of weakness, and that's our goal, is to prevent weakness. That in itself, even using Zip R, I think is above what you would typically expect. I think your average home, in fact, there's a
Yeah,
home
come
down the street, it's just standard Zip compared to ours. We're getting that additional vapor protection, that additional insulating factor. It's just it's a more costly product, but it's the next step up, as is everything in this home.
And we're very excited. We're actually going to be bringing in one of the heads from Zip. That will be on the next feature, where we're going to go in once we have the whole house finished and just really discuss their product and all the features that we just discussed today. So stay tuned for that. Anything else to add?
Man, I think that's about it. It's the next video will be a fun one. It's from here forward in our video series is when we start talking more building science items and what we can really do with the home to deliver a better quality home, a better indoor air quality home.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited for y'all to continue to see the progress. Again, we're at 11 Tealway in the heart of River Oaks, building a truly unique home that blends the indoors and the outdoors while still having timeless design. Can't wait you to check it out, and please let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you.